is Tuesday, the week of the upcoming holiday. I have a book here that I've never read that's been sitting on my bookshelf here. It is a collection of stories. I received it as I'm not going to say PR, but I was supposed to do a review of this book and other books. And I have neither read or done a review of the book or the other books that I have. This is Lost in the Forest of Mechanical Birds. Stories. Christian Moody. This is published by Desank Books. Desank Books. Here's a closer look. It is a matte cover, front and back. It is black background with different kinds of birds. This rectangle here, though, is like a forest green. And then there's a little like notebook, or it almost looks like a script for a TV show or a movie or a play. It's a manuscript of some kind, and it says House Rules 3, Roman numeral 3 on there. I don't know if you can tell. This extra low visual quality, I should say, is sponsored by my laptop camera. I wanted to try filming on here and seeing what it looks like. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I am going to read to you. Hopefully this is a good volume. Thumbs up if you like fiction. Let's read the back together. For fans of George Saunders and Haruki Murakami, Christian Moody delivers his debut speculative short story collection, Lost in the Forest of Mechanical Birds. Tales of the strange beauty and shadowy fears that lurk beneath the surface of our everyday lives. Would you like me to continue? Yes, okay. It says, best friends George and Ellie start a hide-and-go-seek club inspired by their love of the game, which goes too far when Ellie stays hidden for years. An orphan discovers that the trees on the outskirts of town have eyes that watch and record the town's inhabitants, threatening to expose their most vulnerable secrets. In a world with hardly any birds left, a struggling family lives alone in the woods, where the father begins to create mechanical birds, which threaten the only life left. And a man working at a futuristic egg factory spots an anomaly in one of the eggs, which, along with the fact that his wife and daughter spontaneously get pregnant at the same time, sparks this journey to uncover the company's secrets. First of all, what in the world? What in the world? Based off that description, why have I not read this sooner? Okay. I am actually really, really excited to read this to you now. And there is one more snippet on the back before the, whatchamacallit, like reviews by other people, like snippet reviews. So the rest of it says, winner of the 2023 Desank Short Story Collection Prize. Moody's collection delights in the absurd and dystopian, weaving in themes of climate change, surveillance, privacy, and technology that coalesce into a profound statement about the mysteries of the human experience. Heavy sigh because someone is trying to call me. Someone I do not want to talk to at the moment. I'll call them or text them later. Alright. Let me take a drink. I'm gonna blind you for 2 seconds. So behind the curtain is the window, obviously, and the windowsill. And I have my drink sitting on the windowsill. But if I'm gonna be reading to you, I'm gonna need my drink. I have a not so crispy Diet Coke. It was crispy hours ago, but it's just kind of sat on different flat surfaces. I came home from work, ate lunch, McDonald's obviously, sat around for like an hour or two, and then went to the gym. So since then, it has melted. Without further ado, Lost in the Forest of Mechanical Birds by Christian Moody. The Go-Seekers. In the final weeks of 6th grade, the world is abloom. The sunset is late, and the game is a daily after-school frenzy that lasts deep into dusk. George and Elise hid beneath the garden gazebo, in a broom closet under a staircase in the Historical Society, in a long abandoned treehouse littered with disintegrated nudie magazines. Sorry. And in a tarpaulin-draped canoe afloat in a rickety lakeside boathouse. Once, George and Elise spent the afternoon hiding in the TV room of an elderly widow who suddenly claps her hands at 5 p.m. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm gonna start over with that sentence. Once, George and Elise spent the afternoon hiding in the TV room of an elderly widow who suddenly claps her hands at 5 spend every morning for a week constructing what they call the movable bush suit. A giant shrub they wear around their waists, inside of which they creep from yard to yard. They learn by heart the attics of their neighborhood, the crawl spaces, undersides of porches, hollowed out trees, drainage culverts, and cobwebbed corners of backyard barns. A world within a world where they learn to live in the quiet and shadow. This is actually pretty good. In each hiding place, George is aware of the discreet way Elise moves and breathes in the dark. Her elbow taps his ribs. It lasts a few minutes. He can't remember when it first started. It has built up slowly in the darkness. And now it's as much a part of their hiding as holding their breath when a seeker steps near. On the first official day of summer vacation, George and Elise lie side by side beneath the school stage on an unofficial hide, and George realizes that Elise is touching herself. Okay, pause. I didn't know the book was going to be like this. Apologies. My bad. Let's take a drink break. I will not reread that sentence. Jump scare. Oh, where was I? Above them, fairy tale scenery from the year's final production sits on the stage. A gingerbread house, a castle, a troll bridge. The curtain is drawn, the auditorium dark. George feels the familiar light tap of Elise's elbow against him. Touch yourself is a new phrase to George, something he picked up from an older kid or song or movie, and until now he hasn't understood what it means and still doesn't entirely connect it to what he himself does at night. Why do we do unofficials? He whispers. Elisa's elbow pauses. Unofficials are my favorite, she says quietly. Unofficials are what they call it when they hide without a game happening, without anyone looking for them, hiding for the sake of hiding. Elisa's elbow patters against him again. He wants to ask why she likes unofficials so much, but instead he lies in the dark and listens to her breathe. He wonders if it has to do with her mom, who simply up and left when she was still a baby. But he knows the question is off limits. He's tried before. George sometimes thinks about death when they're lying together in the darkness. He also thinks about whether or not Elise will fall in love with him and marry him when they're older. He believes that she will, that maybe this is what the game is all about being with Elise. Is it because, your mom? He asks. Her elbow pauses. Unofficials are even quieter than the game. She whispers. I like how some sounds are far off. Cars, people's voices, wind. other sounds are close, like your stomach, or when the wood planks at the stage creak for no reason. The whole world feels small, like it's forgotten you. They breathe quietly in the darkness. Eerily, the stage creaks. Elise stills. Do you think maybe someone stepped on that plank days or years ago, and it's just now lifting up? The creak. Yes. Maybe. Her elbow starts up again. George hears Elise's father, the custodian for the combined school buildings, buffing the floors in the far-off high school hallways. He wonders if Elise hears it too, or if parent sounds are invisible, like the hum of your own refrigerator or your heartbeat. I'm just looking ahead real quick. Okay, this chapter is pretty long. I think I'm gonna end on this page. George likes Elise's dad. He lets them roam the empty school and hide wherever they'd like while he works. Getting to know the classrooms and hallways in their quiet, empty state has made it easier for George to survive in them when they are full. Why do you hide with me? He asks her. It's a long time before she answers. Their conversations while hiding are always like this. Minutes and minutes could go by between sentences. It's George's favorite way of talking, as if there's all the time in the world. You've always been a part of my hiding, from the very beginning. Do you remember the leaves? I don't know. Maybe. She describes it to him, her first memory of hiding. Even though he doesn't remember it, he begins the process of turning it into his own memory. They huddle together under a heap of raked leaves on Elise's front lawn. They are 3 years old and next-door neighbors. The pleasant smell of autumn decay reminds them of Elise's father's spice cabinet, of the pumpkins, squashes, and gourds on his kitchen counter. The crinkly pile scratches and tickles George's skin, and so do Elise's lips against his ear. Shh, she whispers. Her dad dumps another wheelbarrow load on top of them. Their shoulders move up and down with laughter. To be continued.